Welcome to Time for Health. I'm your host, Rachel Faw, and we're super glad you're here today. We are doing some chair exercises with Jen Caligari. Thank you for being with us.
No problem.
So kind of a focus on wellness, and we're in the midst of an odd time where sometimes we can get out more, sometimes we're kind of stuck at home a little bit. You know, people are going to gyms or aren't going to gyms, are going to classes, aren't going to classes, but so we thought we'd come up with some ideas of things you can do at home. And then there's always the issue of perhaps somebody has limited mobility or is new to exercise and they're not quite ready to go out and run a marathon yet.
Yep.
So we're looking at some ways to get started. So we're starting with chair exercises.
Yep. So we're pretty much starting from scratch. So obviously anything new, anything that you're uncomfortable with, talk to your physician first.
Yep.
But hopefully most of the ones that we picked are pretty simple. You should be doing the exercises or at least those range of motion barriers throughout the day anyway. So we do have a handout that it will be posted with this so that everybody can see it and see it broken down. But we kind of do a little bit of arms, a little bit of core, a little bit of knees, hips, and toes, as well as wrists. So just a little bit of range of motion to get everything going.
Is this something you would do in one day, like at one time?
You can. I mean, obviously, if you've got more conditions, you get fatigued quicker, break it up. But, I mean, it's 12 exercises, so if you want to break it up into 3 in the morning, 3 at lunch, 3 at dinner, 3 before bed.
Okay.
You can still get everything in a day, but not
all at once.
All at once.
Or you could do it at once if you're feeling
if you're feeling like you need to get moving and you want to have a 10 to 15 minute workout, but not be sore the rest of the day. So obviously everything, don't do too heavy, don't do too much, and talk to a physician if you need help with anything. But really the only equipment you need is, I just grabbed a TheraBand from the therapy department. I borrowed it. You can buy these at Walmart. You can buy them on Amazon. I mean, anything like that. So if you're going to do a grocery order pickup, there's usually a set of 3 or 4 of these. They come in different colors, and the packaging will tell you easiest, a little harder,
a lot harder,
medium, and then a lot harder. So in this brand, the green is level 3 of 5. So if you can't do this one, then you start with your level 1, and but everyone's brand color might be different. So we're doing just band pull-aparts. So the big thing with most of this is just good posture. So heels underneath your knees, sit on the edge of your chair, good posture. And then all we're doing is just holding it, elbows in at your sides, and we're not really rotating, we're just pulling out. Okay, so most of us should be doing this kind of a motion every day. You can try it.
All right. So elbows in.
Elbows in, and then
open.
just open as to whatever's comfortable. If you can open really wide, then open really wide. If you can only go and grab it closer in to make it harder.
Okay.
That way you can use the same band if you want to.
Not quite going as far that way, but I see.
Yep. So usually we say start with 1 set of 10. And then if you want to go more than that, you could go to 2 sets of 10. But again, it depends on what your physical level is to begin with.
Gotcha.
Some of the exercises we have on here, you can use a weight if you have a dumbbell. If you don't, grab a canned good, grab a book, grab anything you're not going to hit yourself in the head with. So the next one is just seated shoulder press. So same thing, good posture. And you're literally going to take your dumbbell or whatever you're doing, and you're just going to press above your head. And you can do both at the same time if you want to, or you can do one and then the other. It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter if you're doing it like this or like this.
So it works a different muscle. So if you're in close, you're working more the front.
Okay.
If you're this way, you're working more chest and lower on the arm.
Okay.
If you have a shoulder injury for any reason, it'll be easier the closer.
Okay.
If you have joint problems, if you have old injuries, you have arthritis, we call it being closer to home. So being closer to your core, you won't be as uncomfortable. So the further out this way you are, the more pressure you might feel on those aches and pains.
So starting out close to home.
Yep, start out close to home, and then, same thing, even if you're here, if this is what's comfortable, then stay here.
It's something.
If you're comfortable going all the way up, if that's easy, turn your hands out and go up that way. You can always do the classic click together, take your can good, click at the top, whatever's more comfortable for you.
Okay.
And then we're still doing the arms. So you're gonna, good posture still, elbows in, and we're gonna do a bicep curl. So start down and you're gonna curl. So same thing, you could do one and then the other. You could do both at the same time. Hold the can good, hold your liter of water,
Oh, sure.
your dumbbell, whatever you have at home, if you wanna make it harder.
Is there any difference, like do you do the whole thing, or I've seen like just do half, like the low half, or start here and do the top half?
So you're strongest usually in your middle range of motion. So this should be your strongest point.
Okay.
And if that's all the range of motion you have, then do that. But you always want to work the full range of motion that's comfortable.
Whenever possible. Okay.
So, I mean, obviously, if this is uncomfortable, don't do it. But we to try to keep you as mobile as possible and to keep those joints lubricated, we want to try to do the full range of motion if you can. Same thing with the overhead. If you're going here, it's better than nothing. But if you can, do the full range of motion and go overhead, just to make sure that you're really utilizing the muscle flexibility.
Okay.
So then the next one we're doing torso twists. Okay, so this one is good posture. The hips don't move, okay? So you're not turning around in your chair this way, okay? You're turning your torso. So the upper half of your body moves. So everyone feels like they're gonna pop their back. Their back now.
There might be some cracking.
So if you want to do this one to resistance, make sure you don't pop yourself in the face. Tie it to a door handle, close it in a doorway, something, and as you rotate, you can pull your band, okay? Just make sure core's tight, you're not holding your breath, and it's just slow and controlled.
Slow. That's probably true with all of this. Slow and controlled.
Yes, slow and controlled. The more crazy your motions are, the more likely you are to injure yourself.
Injury, yeah.
So, and then we put the modified leg lifts on the sheet because I'm going to tell you I can't even do the real ones. My core's not that strong. So what you're going to do, move to the front of your chair. If you have arms on your chair, you can hold your arms. If you don't, hold the side of your dining room chair, whatever. So you're going to tighten your tummy and you're going to pick your legs up. Okay? Don't lean backwards.
But it's easier that way.
It is easier that way. That's cheating. That's why it's easier. So bring them up. You can hold if you want to. Okay, so the modified is just hold. Okay, after 10, 15 seconds, we're all feeling the burn. Our hips are starting to get sore. We don't do that very often. If that's easy for you, okay, easy, you can do 30 seconds. You can do 2 or 3 of them. You can do it with your legs straight and lift them that way. But I cheat like crazy doing that. My core's not that strong. Okay. So
can you also do one?
You can do one at a time. So, which is probably what most of us should be doing. If your core's tight, your back will be flat. So as soon as you start to lean and arch, you're not working your core anymore.
Okay.
So if your core tight and you start to lift and hold, and then put it back down, lift and hold. So you can, again, make that easier or more challenging.
So maybe start with one leg to try. You're always going to start with the easiest.
Whatever's comfortable, yep.
Okay.
We did the middle picture for it. And in the picture, he's pretty good about having good posture and he doesn't go leaning backwards.
Right.
So
just sitting with good posture is a
challenge.
Workout.
I'm terrible when I'm at my computer
Yeah.
I am terrible. So, and that's what, I mean, same thing with the torso twist, everything, just good posture. And that can be exercise for your shoulder blades and
number 13.
Everything. Yeah. So then our other one is, so we're halfway through number 6, so we're doing heel slides. Okay, so still front of your chair. If you're wearing slippers, if you're wearing socks, depending on what your floor is, you're literally gonna start out and you're gonna slide and then come back. Okay, if you're just sliding and you're slipping, it's pretty easy. If you wanna make it a little harder, push your heel into the ground and kind of drag. You'll feel it more in that hamstring.
So you're making your own
resistance. Yep. So if you want to,
right.
if you, I mean, it's still good range of motion for your knees.
Sure.
If you've got socks on a slippery floor, you know, you can slide back and forth pretty easily. But if you kind of dig your heel in, not your toes, but your heel, you can really feel it in kind of that back side where we all like the pretty back side.
Yeah.
So halfway done, So then kind of a modified on the leg lifts. This is the marches. Okay, so this is where you're going to be doing them one at a time. Good posture. You're looking to come up a little higher than 90 degrees. You're not coming all the way up, but you want to be, instead of coming to neutral, you want to come up just a little bit higher, feel it in the hips a little bit more, and then come back. So same thing, good posture. Don't lean.
Yeah, that posture thing.
I know.
So should you be holding, I mean?
I like to put hands here just to kind of remind me what I'm contracting. You can always go here, you can go your chair.
Okay.
If I cheat when I use the chair. I lean. I lean.
Okay.
So I mean, I try to just lightly put here so that I know what I'm using, and it still keeps me in that good posture.
Yeah, you're right. You do kind of.
I cheat. I'm a cheater. It's okay. So then the other one. So this one, if you have anything, you have a pet, you have a kid, you have books, anything like that. If you put them on your thighs, we're just doing a heel raise. Okay, so for some people, I've had foot surgery, so this ankle is going to get a little stiffer than the other one. But if you don't have any injuries, you don't have any issues, put a book down, phone book, a couple phone books. Port Clinton's is pretty small.
Yeah.
You've got that 10-pound cat, put the cat in your lap, and you can do it that way too. You can make it harder by standing up and doing it. Hold on to your countertop, hold on to your wall. That way, in case you lose your balance, you still have something, and that would be your entire body weight. That would be going up. So if you do think that seated is too easy, you could high bar stool, or you could stand and do it too.
Okay.
So then we have a stretch in here as we're talking about bad posture. So, I sit like this all the time. So knees a little wider than normal, and we're just gonna kind of fall in, and we're just gonna hang. Okay, you really should be feeling it kind of that mid back to that low back. But, the more belly we have, the less the less we'll reach the ground, things like that. But just kind of hang and kind of unwind some of that pressure.
That feels good.
So we did throw a little stretch in there just because we all have bad posture.
Stretching is good.
So the one that we did say was standing to sitting, okay? So in therapy, we call these our lovely sit to stands. So the whole point of this is to help you get in and out of the car and to help you reach things that are on like the back of the cabinet, things that are kind of that awkward reach, okay?
Back of the dryer.
Yeah, back of the dryer, fishing those clothes out of the washer, things like that. So the easy way to do this, okay, so if you turn your chair, just so you can kind of see me, shoulder width apart, however you need balance, whatever you need to do. The whole point is that you're trying to tap your butt on your chair. So you're going to come down, tap, come back up. Okay.
Like a squat.
Kind of like a squat, but if you fall, you lose your balance.
Right.
You're into the chair. Okay, don't lean forward because that's going to be where you fall. So if you can't make it all the way, go. Okay, that's about as far as I can go, and then come back up. Which is where the counter.
What are we doing with our hands?
I like them in front because I don't cheat.
I was going to say, I saw myself do this. I'm like, well, that's probably not.
Yes, I cheat if I use my hands. So if you can't make it all the way down, maybe put that counter right in front of you so you can hover on your counter as you come down. So you want the weight over your heels. As you saw me, I cheated with this one. This one's the surgery one. So come down, and if you have to, sit for a second and then regroup and get up without those hands.
And you don't want your knees.
Nope, no knees in front of your toes. You really want to stick that butt back there.
And you feel kind of silly.
Yeah.
Like I look kind of silly when I do that.
You feel like a goober, but it's okay. It's good for you. Helps you get out of your car easier.
Okay.
So.
Okay.
So, and again, you can always use a higher bar stool to tap if you're not that flexible that you can't get down. Tap that bar stool, come back up. Touch that counter in front of you. Don't pull on your counter. We don't know how well glued it is.
Right. Okay.
And then we picked the last two. We're going to be super simple. But to get the fingers and wrists going, we were just doing circles. So you can do one and then the other. You can spell your alphabet, conduct a orchestra, whatever you want to do. And then same thing with those ankles. Go one way, go the other way, spell your alphabet.
Listen to the cracking.
Yes. Cursive, if you know how to spell in cursive, any of those fun things. Kind of get a little bit more joint motion in some circulation of those fingers and toes.
Nice.
So
that's it.
That's it.
If we do these, do like 4 or 5 of each one, or a couple of sets of each one?
So, I mean, most of these, the sit to stands, 10 of them might be a lot.
Okay.
Probably start with 3 to 5, depending on how conditioned you are. Everything else, 1 set of 10 shouldn't be terrible. It should be tolerable. If it's not tolerable and it's painful, don't do as many. Obviously, the better you get at it, the more you could increase, the more weight you could put on. You could do ankle weights if you wanted to, but obviously don't start that way until you're comfortable making sure you're not cheating.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you very much. Any last thoughts?
No, I mean, any help, obviously talk to your physician. If you do have those aches and pains, you're welcome to come in, get your prescription, come into therapy. We can give you exercises specifically for that ache or pain that isn't going to make it worse. So if you have back pain, you have shoulder pain, knee replacement, any of those kind of things, we can specifically tailor an exercise program to you. But in general,
that's kind of covers everything.
That should cover a little bit of everything.
Awesome. Thank you very much. A little bit of movement is better than no movement. And again, don't do more than what your body is comfortable with. You gotta take care of yourself.
But I'd prefer to do this than go for a walk in the lovely wind and sleet we've had lately.
Truly. All right. Well, thank you, ma'am.
No problem.
All right. If you have any questions, let us know. You can reach me at Magruder Hospital or Mrs. Pels at the high school. And until we meet again, I encourage you to make time for health.